Lord of the Rings was an amazing fantasy journey, and y'all are gonna kill me. I know you are. You're gonna get so mad at me, but please forgive me. I was actually forced to watch this straight through because I watched it here and there. I know, trust me, my husband gave me an earful and forced me to actually sit down and watch the movies. Only to realize I probably watched like 20% of it, the general story, which I know, but there's a lot of it that I did miss and the details of the journey. But now having watched it, I have a lot of questions. And what I'm hoping is that the Lord of Ring fandom will help me and not flame me too hard. And I know people are gonna be out there claiming all you gotta do is turn off your brain, watch and enjoy. Yeah, that's all great and everything. My brain does not work like that. And this is a rich world with a rich story, intricately woven together. So I would expect there would be answers to the questions I'm about to ask. So here we go. Yes, indeed. Eagles. I know this question's been asked to death, but why didn't they take the eagles to Mordor? Also, why does the moth come before the eagles? Why does it always present itself before the eagles show up? What is the significance of that? I know people are probably gonna say, well, you know, the eagles they're not pets, they come, you know, when they want. But Gandalf had already, on the Two Towers movie, called for their assistance. And we've seen that the eagles do a great job at fighting the Nazgul all on their own anyway. So that's not it. It's not, you know, people were saying the excuses, oh, the Nazgul would find them and attack them. The eagles are fine. They would only need to be carrying one person, and then the rest could, you know, act as defense or whatnot. And the eagles seem to do a pretty good job, because by the end, we don't really see the Nazgul being a problem. The eagles can handle themselves. Look at that guy, he's shitting himself. So the only answer I would probably give in response to this is what one person said. Does the ring affect the eagles? It seems to affect hominid species. Does it affect avians and other creatures as well? Because if they are affected by it, I could understand why it would be risky for them to fly on the back of an eagle with the ring. I completely get that. But if it doesn't, there's no excuse why they wouldn't have taken them. As we see clearly here, they have no problem coming in for assistance and dealing with the Nazgul and flying all the way to Mordor. It's very clearly stated or shown in The Return of the King. Another thing, and this irked me throughout the last two movies, why did Gandalf forget he had powers? He's a godly figure. You know, why is he not using his staff? Why not heal Frodo's mind by the end of the movie, or at least attempt to do so? Why every other time when he saw the Nazgul did he not use his staff to deter them or strike them or create some storm like Saruman can in the air to cause it to be difficult for them to fly? I mean, there's a million things he can do in Rings of Power. If this is indeed him, we've shown that he has exceeding powers that can put out fire and do a host of other things. Gandalf is shown being more powerful in Rings of Power, which is supposed to be a prequel to the Lord of the Rings movie, than he's shown to be in the Lord of the Rings movies. Like, look what he's able to do. And what, did he forget that he had this power? Not to mention, he's not even Gandalf the Grey anymore. He's Gandalf the White, that is supposed to be like an evolved version of him. He straight up underwent a Pokemon evolution or something akin to such, and somehow he's weaker. He had the ability to fight a Balrog for however long he was doing so, and yet he cannot do that with these freaking peasants. Again, the pyre scene. Stuff was on fire. Why didn't Gandalf use his magic to put out the fire? Why didn't he blast through the pyre or something with wind or whatever so that Faramir would be okay? Also, we see the upset and grieving father whose mind snapped. And what does Gandalf do? He doesn't knock him out like he did before. No, instead, he's like, oh my god, boom, you go back on the pyre. And he doesn't even attempt to put him out or to save the father. The father was grieving over his boy. The father was a piece of shit. Yes, I understand that, but in this case, you know that he's not mentally all there. Why would Gandalf straight up murder him? Like, that's just crazy to me. And not even attempt to put out the fire when you have the magic capability to do so. Speaking of magic, I am so sorry, but it seems like it's only convenient when the plot needs it to be. In Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, apparently, just like Gandalf, Saruman also forgets that he has magic that he could use when the Ents were taking over. Throughout the time they were attacking, I know they're very large and whatnot, but the entire time this old man is just looking around like, oh no, my plan, I don't know what to do. What should I do? These Ents are wrecking everything. This is the same white wizard that is supposedly stronger than Gandalf in many cases because apparently he's older, right? This is the same dude that can call down storms. And he refused to use his magic when the Ents were laying waste to Isengard and just stood there looking like an eternal dumbass as they wrecked his plan so easily. Such a convenient defeat. Oh, yeah, buddy, I guess I lost. Even in the supposed deleted scene, not much happened. And even in the deleted scene itself, they show us that he could have been doing something even if he would have lost. And he did not do it. You know what he could have done? You know what we found out that he could do?
This pity and your mercy. I have no use for it.
Bitch could throw fireballs this entire time. So let's just say he did not have the mental fortitude to understand that setting the trees on fire would help. You saw the orcs doing this, and you have the ability to cast fireballs upon it, and you choose not to use it. Why? And then Gandalf is impermeable to fire, right? He is not affected by it, and he speaks the word of God, and that automatically breaks Saruman's staff. That's how much more powerful he is than Saruman now, who doesn't use every arsenal in his repertoire to try and beat these people. But anyways, let's just say he all the fights out of him. This is what Gandalf is able to achieve.
Your staff is broken.
Bro has the ability to say something happens and it happens. Where was that ability in the movies? Like, I know this is the deleted scene, but it was still part of the movie. That's probably like what I wanted to see more of Gandalf's power. I wanted to see a payoff because he got his ass handed to him last time by Saruman. I was expecting, in true anime fashion, I know this is not anime, you know what I mean, for us to have a second round and whatever. But this was just kind of how they wrote Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. Oh, he's super smart until the plot needs him not to be.
You withdraw your guard, and I will tell you where your doom will be decided. I will not be held prisoner here.
What is it with these freaking lack of payoffs? First of all, in the actual movie, and I had the director's cut, this wasn't even in there. This was still a deleted scene. So he died off screen. We don't even know if he died. They're like, oh, he won't be a problem anymore. We don't even know if he died. But this was a stupid way for him to die. Why would he not have heard or... He's too wise for this. He's come this far because he's supposed to be a wise person, right? And he lets this person come up behind him and stab him? We don't even get the payoff for Gandalf overtaking him? Do Gandalf and Saruman only exercise their magic through their staff? Wink, wink. Or do they have power outside of it? And I'm guessing they have power outside of it. So why did he not... Whatever.
What thinking?
My next question is what's going on with the Ents? In the Two Towers, when Merry and Pippin are traveling with old Beard over here, he just now realizes in the south that all of his kin have been chopped all the way in half. Why is he shocked? I mean, maybe it's just me, but I thought that Ents were guardians of the forest. Are they stationed at different points? Are they partly trees as well? Or at least, do they not have the ability, if they are guardians of the forest, to understand when something is endangering the forest? That would mean they have to be able to communicate with trees on some level, which he does kind of say. So wouldn't he have felt and heard their pain as many of them were being chopped up? But he only just now realizes this is happening when he lays his eyes on it. And there's so many Ents in the area. Where did they come from? They must have been very close by. Did they not see that this was happening? Why did they then decide that it wasn't their fight initially when they were so close by and saw all of this happening, unless they magically somehow teleported to the location? Then the leader Ent is like, yes, now it is our war. How could they? Gramps, you're acting like you didn't know. And I honestly thought, I'm glad that the Ents joined the fight, but I think it was like a lazy way to get them to agree to join the fight, even though they could have just skipped all the way past that and they would have felt that happening already. Also, this is a much more trivial nitpick, but they must know that it's not over, clearly. Now that this is their fight, why did they stop at Isengard? why did some of the Ents also go closer to where Sauron was? Maybe they're mad because Saruman is a wizard and he should know better, which is what the Ents said. But the war isn't over. And they, just like the army, the undead army, could have made such a big difference in the fight, and it's not really explained why they don't go further. And not for nothing, but I was also expecting at the end there to be some payoff since they mentioned it. Like, where are their women? They said they lost them a long time ago. And honestly, I thought that was going to be a lead up for us finding the women later, but we never discover what happened with the female Ents. Another thing, a small little nitpick, I love Legolas, he's my favorite character. How does he keep replenishing his arrows? Is it magic, or do they address it at any point? Did I miss it? Just looking at the amount of arrows that he ever has on him, it is not anything nearly enough. Where is he getting the extra arrows from? Does he like make them on the fly out of his ass? In the scene with Shelob, the spider, why wasn't there a better application of the light that the elf gave him? Was it the Fial of Galadriel? It just kind of felt very anticlimactic against Shelob. Like, oh my god, bright light in my eye, but I'm still gonna get you anyway. It doesn't really do jack, and it wears off after a while. I was honestly expecting him or Sam to like throw it in her face and then we watch it explode. No, that never happens. Also, for Aragorn's girlfriend, Arwen, I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. I wish we saw more of her. She's also clearly a very powerful elf that's in tune with nature. Why did she start dying all of a sudden for no damn reason near the end of the movie? Why was her father not affected? And if it's because he had one of the rings, why didn't he give the ring to his daughter? There were already a lot of stakes involved with them needing to get rid of the ring. They didn't need to add the whole, oh my god, guess what? Arwen's gonna die. No, not as a human being living out her mortal life, which she chose because of her love for Aragorn. But no, she's like dying right now. Like, why? Also, how do visions work with the elves? And why is it that it took so long for Arwen to finally see the vision of foresight or have the vision of foresight about her child? How does she know that this vision is not just her emotions? That place where the elves go, can they not go there at a later time? Notice also in the movie, they're all hot as fuck. I mean, Lord of the Rings got elves down perfectly, or at least Tolkien's elves, obviously. They look beautiful. Wish Rings of Power did that because they made the elves look freaking janky. But anyway, let's say that Aragorn's girlfriend wants to stay with him for his human life. Can she now go back to the elf place later on? Or is it a case that once she loses her elven power, or full immortality, I should say, that it's impossible for her to get back? Is she no longer an elf at that point? Or is she just a dysfunctional elf that doesn't have the big part of her that makes her an elf? Also, why is Legolas not affected by the evil in the world, but Arwen is? Is it because they're different species of elves? If that's the case, there must be other elves in Middle-earth who also practice magic. So couldn't any of them have helped Arwen? Why is it specifically her species of elves that were affected by the evil and forced to leave? Of course, it's something I might have missed or I was too stupid to get. So explain it to me like I am stupid. And the vision that Arwen had of her little boy was very sweet, I guess, but how do the visions actually work? I know I probably asked that already, but I'm super curious about this. Is this indeed the future? Or a future? The next thing is, I know that Gollum is a trickster and all of that. I get it. After Gollum becomes friends with them, why were they so awful to Smeagol? I know this sounds like a stupid question. I mean, the dude did betray Smeagol, or Gollum, who was actually prepared to be friends with him. Before all of that, Gollum had given his word. Frodo kind of understood the sadness with Gollum, and I felt really bad for him too. This was so sad.
Don't touch me.
Like, am I the only one who feels bad for Gollum? But aside from all of that, everyone just conveniently forgets. First of all, Frodo would have been dead a long time ago if it weren't for Sam or for Gollum. And they all forget that it was Gollum, not Sam, because I guess hobbits can't swim, who pulled him out of that freaking lake and saved his life. And he could have taken the ring and run off at this point, but he didn't do it. So I'm thinking, yay, this is going to be an unlikely friendship, but then Faramir puts Frodo in a spot where he needs to accept or come clean about his friendship with Gollum. And I felt so bad here because Gollum's just like so oblivious to the fact that they almost killed him.
Smeagol, Master's here. Come, Smeagol. Trust Master. Come.
We must go now.
Smeagol, you must trust Master. Follow me. Come on. Come. Come, Smeagol. Nice, Smeagol. That's it. Come on.
Bro, look at those eyes, bro. Like, how? Why? I know that Frodo had to do this, but the way he was doing it, I'm sorry. That was rank. That was so rank. You need this guy to help you get to Mordor. He saved your life. Yes, you could see that he was kind of affected by the ring and did some horrible things, but you're also affected by the ring. You understand, having empathy for him, what it's like, and that this is not his fault, just as it's not yours. And he treats him like a freaking dog, first of all. And then there's no explanation later as to why he betrayed Smeagol.
That's it. Come on. Don't hurt him! Smeagol, don't struggle! Smeagol, listen to me!
And then they tortured him. Now, mind you, Smeagol already has PTSD from being tortured in Mordor. He has beatings on his, like, scars from beatings and whatnot. They know all of this, or at least some of it, and they beat the shit out of Smeagol. Smeagol finally opened up his heart to someone, despite the pull of the ring, and that's how they do it.
Is that its name?
Yes.
And not once did Frodo ever apologize or explain what he was going to do or why he did it.
Mr. Frodo didn't mean for them Rangers to hurt you. You know that, don't you? He's trying to save you, see?
Selfish.
So there's no hard feelings.
So no hard feelings. Sam, what in the world? Oh, we know that we treat like shit and tricked you even though you saved his life and you're guiding us through this area, putting your life back in danger, going back to a place where you were beaten up. No hard feelings, Kay. Like, we didn't get abused, you did. But it's all good. That's a good lad. All right, walk it off. Like, what? What in the world? Sam, you're supposed to... And then Frodo, why did Frodo apologize to Smeagol? Smeagol saved your life, bro. Like, what in the world? What in the dishonor? I love Frodo. I love this movie. Trust me shitting on these issues doesn't mean I hate the movies. I love the movies. I love the story. But damn it, the characters kind of make me mad because they both treated Smeagol like shit. And unless they knew way ahead of time that he was a murderer, there's no reason for them to have treated him that badly aside from him just looking different than them. They don't treat any other creature like that. They're supposed to be the good guys, but yet they're being so nasty to him. And they could have de-escalated and prevented so many things from happening had they just shown him a little humanity. And even if they found out that he was a murderer, he did something like that in the past, knowing that he was also in possession of the ring when all of this happened, especially from Frodo, you would think there would be a lot more empathy there. I know that Frodo did start to empathize with him, but then when he betrayed or tricked him in an attempt to save him, Bro should have told him afterwards why he did that and apologized. He didn't give him a good enough apology, if any. Another thing that confused me, which shouldn't really confuse me because, you know, I've been that cringe at some point in my life, is how quick Eowyn fell in love with Aragorn. I mean, I know I can't really completely fault her for that, but she's like super in love with him only 2 days after meeting him. I'm thinking they were traveling for weeks alongside each other. No, 2 days. And she's in love with him. She loves him now. And he might have been tempted to return the favor if she could cook.
It's good.
Really?
No, not really. I can't back that up.
Also, I love Merry and Pippin. Are they brothers or just best friends? Next thing, we get to see Sam's happily ever after with his children, but I'm just curious, even though this is so beautiful and Sam is like my favorite character, one of them anyway, aside from Legolas, the epitome of the best bro friend you could ever have is super hard to find. I was so happy during the scene, but why didn't we get to see that payoff with Aragorn and his kid? This part was so beautiful, especially Elrond basically giving away his daughter. That would have been messed up if they came all this way and they're like, oh crap, he moved on, you got mortal for no reason. That would have been terrible, but I was so happy. Look how he just eats her face. Damn, relax. Oh my god, that was so wholesome. Such a payoff for Aragorn, such a man of honor. And I'm so embarrassed to say this, like before, I really did think I watched the movies. I don't know what I didn't even know that he was like an integral character.
Oh, hell no! Oh, hell!
I knew he was, but not to the degree that, anyways, let me not embarrass myself any more than I already have. But anyways, I would have loved to have seen her vision come to pass. Like, that was her and her father's vision. Was it actually based in reality? We saw Sam's children, so I figured they would have given us a payoff with seeing his son. You can argue that we already saw it in her vision, but it was a vision, and they're not exactly set in stone all the time. Or are they? Another question is, why is it at the end of the movie, Frodo and Bilbo Baggins both seem to have a pep in their step the closer they get to the boat? Is this an allegory for angels taking you and sweeping you away to heaven or something? Because Bilbo can walk on his own very enthusiastically the minute they're like, okay, you're gonna go to the heaven now. Why is that guy so angry? Why is he looking at him like he's disgusted? Good grief. Look at Galadriel's. She's so funny. I love her so much in this movie. I don't know why they made her such a horrible character in Rings of Power. But even with Frodo, once he says his long goodbyes for his friends, over here looking like Slim Shady, he really does look like Marshall Mathers. You could see that he's very depressed and it's been weighing on his soul, the stabbing that he got, and probably the toll that the burden of the ring has put around his neck. This is such a sweet scene. But the minute that Frodo boards the boat, look how much happier and lighthearted he looks. Like, wow, his face is just... It's like all that depression just washed away the minute he ended up on the boat. So I guess what I'm asking is there some kind of ethereal magic involved with this? And like I asked these questions already, I already looked online, but there's so many people saying different things, which makes me think, and these are other fans that are fighting amongst themselves with different things that y'all don't know either, but I figured one whole area, not different sites and conflicting information. If you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer. If it wasn't mentioned, just say it wasn't mentioned. But it is something to think about. Does the boat symbolize heaven? When you get on it or you make up the decision to go there completely, does it absolve you of all of the depression or whatever's going on with your soul? Also, here's another thing that I didn't realize until I actually watched the movie straight through. Frodo didn't exactly save the day. I mean, he did. He made 99% of the trip. Then he changed his mind and gave into the ring, or the ring took over him in that moment in time. And he was fighting to get the ring back from Gollum so he could have it. And it was an accident that Gollum even fell in the first place. Don't get me wrong. Frodo still deserves the credit because he busted his ass and made that sacrifice and lasted that long to even make the trip. Sam carried him through. I mean, Sam is a real MVP here. I feel like Sam honestly has more fortitude than Frodo even does. And maybe that's because he was playing a supporting character role. He didn't feel like a sidekick at all. But yeah, Frodo lasted that long. But I think they did this for drama's sake because it would have just been too much for Frodo to be like, okay, I'm gonna throw the ring away now. And now he's like, no.
The ring is mine.
Good Lord, I was slapping myself when I saw it. It's like, bro, you're right there. Like, come on. I know he's weak and his soul is weak, but damn, man, come on. Really? And Sam is over there crying like he's not stronger than Frodo. He can wrestle the ring away from him and throw it into the freaking lava. But we need drama. And so they took that route with Gollum being there. However, it did take away from the payoff of him overcoming the ring and him and Sam possibly getting rid of it together. Honestly, I could have sworn that Gollum had jumped in after the ring when they threw it in there, but that's not what happened apparently. Having some serious Mandela effect vibes. And seeing as Gollum is the one that got the ring in the first place. Come to think of it, if it had not been for Gollum, everyone else would have been dead. Gollum is the reason the ring got destroyed. Because Frodo would have walked out of there and Sam would have let him. Also, as for the undead army, why was it only then mentioned when the plot needed it to be? How did Elrond get there so freaking fast?
They'll be in the city in 2 days. You're outnumbered, Aragorn. You need more men.
There are none.
There are those who dwell in the mountain.
Oh, really? All of a sudden? They were never ever mentioned before now. Also, this is another stupid question, but if they're supernatural, why couldn't they tell, especially if they're bounded to blood, that Aragorn had the blood of Isildur?
Fill your oath.
None but the King of Gondor may command me.
How do you not known how to fight, they would have killed him and not known, oh shit, that's the dude we're supposed to uphold our oath to. Oh well. And maybe he needed the sword, but clearly the sword isn't enough. They still tried to fight him even though he showed them the sword. Also, if they were never men of their word in the living, why would them, knowing that they, someone was coming to draw on them for help, why would they even be held to their word in death? Maybe it's because they want peace, you know, they want to move on or whatever, but do they though?
That line was broken.
How do you not know? How did you not know it was him? You're supernatural. Why? Why didn't Aragorn also ask them to stick around for the entire war, like the entire battle, not just the one with the elephants? I would have thought that would have been a much better intellectual decision, being as Sauron had a big-ass army behind the gates of Mordor. Like, do people have an inability in this movie to think past their faces or the immediate problem? It's the same bullshit we see where Grima, who committed treason, mind you, and caused the death of a lot of people, he was spared for some stupid reason. Not imprisoned, not killed, just completely spared and let run free.
Sight.
No, my lord. Let him go. Enough blood has been spilled on his account.
Bro, the king is like, yo, who the fuck? If this were any other king, it would have been like, bro, you did not just stop me from dishing out a completely warranted sentence as the king. I know you saved my life, but are you serious? Unhand me or I will slice your freaking tits off your sternum. I'm sorry, I love Aragorn, but he overstepped here. And then they just let the guy free. The guy just runs free, and Aragorn's like, I'll help you up. And he spits in his hand, and I was expecting him to kill him at that point. They just let him go. Bro committed treason. Like, is this how Middle Earth does things? I don't know, dude. All the families that were victims of what Grima did, like, why would you do that? And knowing that this worm-tongue guy is working for Saruman, now you know he's gonna run straight to him, which he indeed does, which now he can use this freaking worm-tongue guy to get more information on them. Good job. Aragorn is a badass man when it comes to being a general, a soldier, and a friend, an honorable man, a good husband, father, whatever you want to say. Not very smart, though. Kind of Sean Bean in Game of Thrones much. He's a dude that would have gotten killed by Cersei because, you know, he wants to be so honorable that he's no earthly good. I do love him though, but it's just funny. I'll bow to you now, king, after I, you know, usurped your need to dish out punishment. Oh, but Saruman, he got to get killed. Did they even kill Grima? I don't even know. Okay, I swear I'm almost done. Also, another gripe of mine, in The Return of the King, why the fuck didn't the king move out the damn way? What are you doing? You had ample time. You're on a horse. You're on a freaking horse. Look how far away that thing is. Okay, stop. Everyone is moving, you know, it's kind of slow, but you see the thing coming towards you. Dive out the way. Dive out the way or move your horse. What in the world? And the other thing that's really stupid is, you know, this woman comes up, his niece, and she's always been trying to prove herself that she's just as good as the male soldiers, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. She says, I'm gonna kill you if you get near him, and somehow she is able to chop off quite easily the head of a freaking fully grown Nazgul. Sorry, editing Alteori here. I know that they're called fell beasts, but for some reason while I was doing the video, I still had it in my head that the beasts that the Nazgul were riding were called Nazgul, like the both of them together. And so yeah, I kept using that for some reason because in my head that's what it felt like. So if I say Nazgul in this situation, I'm talking about the fell beasts, the dragons that they're riding. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, back to the video. How? What? Dude, I don't even think half of the dudes could do this. And she's in a one-on-one fight with this guy, and she's about to be killed. But Pippin stabs the thing. Tony Stark's his hand, and this is her line.
No man can kill me.
And before that, Sorry, the dialogue for this thing is so stupid. It's taking forever to kill her to give Pippin a chance to save her. It's a little embellished, I know.
Die now.
She's not gonna die unless you actually kill her, you dumbass. Like, nothing's actually gonna happen unless you actually do something. And he does nothing. Like, holding her, wondering, why are you not dying? I told you to die. Why are you not listening to me? Like, what is this? But he says, no man can kill me or whatnot.
I am no man.
Good Lord, that was so bad. Oh my God. What in the world? They could have left the scene out of the movies, or at least shot it a little better. She takes the time, take off her helmet. Bro, who wrote that scene? Was that in the book? She just took all the credit for herself. Pippin is the one that actually helped you. And the thing just is like, you know what? I actually want to die today. I'm going to let you have it easy. Like, this is the wrong way to write women. And they were doing this from way back when. When did this movie even come out? 2003. They were doing it from all the way back. Also, at the battle when the Oliphants, when they came onto the scene, why did the king give such a dumb command? You see a bunch of these gigantic mammoth gargantuan elephant creatures coming towards you full speed ahead, and you order your troops to take them straight on. I know I'm a woman and, you know, I probably know absolutely zilch about war, but why would you not tell your soldiers to flank them? There's not a lot of them. You could get around them. You know, have some of your soldiers flank them so you don't unnecessarily lose your men against something that you know you cannot fight head on.
Take them head on! Take them head on!
Take them head on. That's what he said. And that's what you're seeing here. And this is the end result, because why else? Like, how? What a very poor use of resources. They're doing absolutely, what did you think was going to happen? Nothing is working here. This was such a bad strategy. I don't even know if I can call it a strategy. That king should have a war advisor because he's not a good one at all. Doesn't matter now because he's dead. So yeah, those are most of my gripes about what otherwise was a really good story. Very wholesome, even though Frodo just basically essentially offs himself in the end. And I think they wrapped it up really nicely. It was very sweet. I think the friendship, Sam really sold it, man. The friendship between the Hobbits, Legolas and Gimli, Aragorn, love, friendship. It was a nice fantasy story. Are there issues in the movie? Yeah, of course. But I'm guessing a lot of them are just things that I just don't understand, or they just assumed that people who read the book would get because they read the book. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just like, the hell is going on? Why? Because you cannot fault people for asking questions that are otherwise obvious, you know? But yeah, let's hear what you guys have to say. And if I see a bunch of you hardcore fans fighting amongst yourselves because you have completely different interpretations, I'm not gonna feel so bad, because I'll know that if you guys are confused as to what's going on with some of the things I asked, then it's not just me. Please don't kill me.
I moved on, I got a chick, she's